Welcome, welcome, everyone. I am Jean, and this is Stitch Talk with Captain Stitches, where if it is about stitching, let's talk. Good morning, everyone. I had lots of early birds in here this morning. Let me see who all is here and let me welcome you. Hello and good morning. Guess who? Nancy and Glenda Crouch. Good morning to you. Danielle, my little daughter. I'm sorry to say little, but you know what I mean, Danielle. Good morning to you. And good morning, Donna Dixon. It is awesome to see you this morning. Michelle with Michelle's Crafts and More is here. And just for the health of it, Lynn is here. And Lynn, I did get your link to your channel fixed. So it is working properly and we'll link to the correct one now. Very sorry about that yesterday. And Melody Kiefer is here. Welcome, welcome. And Andrea. Hello, Andrea. Welcome, welcome. Andrea is a member of the channel, Stitching Friends. Carol Russo, of course, is here. Good morning, Carol. And June Hansen also is here. Good morning, good morning. Hello again, Danielle. I see you are here. You'll take the little. Okay. Katie Crafts is here. Good morning. And Awkward Quilter is here. She says she is lurking. Lurking is good. It is fine. Good morning, Kathy from Kathy's Quilts and Crafts. And Sandra Reel is also here. Good morning. And I believe that I have gotten everyone that has popped in so far this morning. Good morning. It is an awesome morning. Well, it could be better. I mean, right, getting ready to go live, got stung by a wasp on my finger. It's like, all of a sudden, I don't know where it came from. Of course, the door was open earlier, going in and out, but it landed right in front of me on my desk here in front of my laptop. And I, of course, thought, ooh, I need to get rid of that. I grabbed a tissue and went to, get it. And it stung me through the tissue. So yeah, that was not fun. It's like, oh, that really, really hurt. It still hurts, but thank goodness I'm not allergic. So it wasn't that go live button this morning, Danielle. It was a wasp. At least it wasn't a bee, right? But good morning, everyone. And as you may have noticed in the title to this morning's live, we are going to be talking about needlebooks and a needle box, which is something you may not have heard of before, but that was requested by one of the subscribers. And I decided that that is what we will be discussing and talking about and showing a little bit this morning on how to do that. Not the complete thing, but we will get started on working on that, which I do have over the side here with me. You will see that in a little bit. You are just really kicking it on those links, Danielle. Thank you very much. And yeah, you probably did hear me that everyone has been corrected. That was not correct. Which you must be going and grabbing them because it doesn't have my little thing on the front. If you just put the exclamation point in their first name, it will come up. But that's all right, whichever way. And you are so welcome, Andrea. Of course, I never knew how to turn the captions on, and know that now that I do know, they will be on for every one of my lives and videos, Andrea. And good morning, Nancy. It is great to see you as well. And by the way, Andrea is also a member of the channel and the Stitching Friends, as is Lisa from Awkward Quilter. Welcome to you. I just saw you pop in there. Welcome, welcome. And Nancy of Our Treasured Home is also a member of the channel, Stitching Friends. So the gang's all here this morning. Welcome, welcome. All right, let me go ahead and add in so you will be able to see what we are going to be working on this morning as requested. And when somebody requests something, I do try as soon as I can to fulfill that request. And because I love Needlebooks in the first place, when I saw that request, I thought, oh, of course I can help show how to do those, and we can have a little stitch along in making a needle book. So that is what we will be starting today. We'll not get that completed at this live, but I will get you started and on your way to making one of those, and also a needle box for those of you that are interested and would like to join in on that. And Danielle says, almost forgot to share yours. Yeah, that's easy to do, isn't it? Oh, awesome. Okay. And you might want to not sneak away, because I am going to have a giveaway at some point in time during this live this morning. And I think it's something that many of you, there may be a few not interested, but it is a nice giveaway. So, and I'm gonna give it a try with Nightbot. If that doesn't work, we'll have to do it the old-fashioned way. But you will have to be present in the chat at the time to win that giveaway. And Debbie Williams, welcome, welcome, is here also with us this morning. Another one of the channel members of the Stitching Friends. Welcome. Okay. Let's get started. Since there's that replay, those that aren't on right now will have to go back. And what I don't cover in the overview at the end, you will have to catch it on the replay. But yay, she remembered the Auntie Debbie. Yes, awesome. So, who did I just see there? Okay. Yo, Patty G is also in the house. Good morning, Patty G. I need to get with you. I think I forget how I contacted you last time I needed to contact you, whether I have you in Messenger or not, Patty G, but I need to have a little discussion with you. So we will get together. And Kelly's Quilting Cruises is also here, and she says, hello, my quilting friends. Okay, so first of all, right on top here, which I'm going to show the other one first. That should have been underneath there. But this is what started my love of needle books right here. This lovely needle book that was gifted to me by a dear friend. And I'm going to say the dear friend's name because I know she won't mind, but this was given to me by BD Spence. She is a member of the Facebook group and an awesome, awesome gal and an awesome friend. And she just out of the blue randomly sent me this. Hello, guess who, Nancy? Okay, but she randomly sent me this beautiful, beautiful needle book. And I'm going to open so you can see. Whoa, I always forget that that's going to fall out. But this is the cover of the needle book. And then when you flip it over, of course, is the beautiful inside. And a place for your needles, your pins. And then she's got this cute little old-fashioned tab, whatever you want to call it, but it's got a little bit of lace wrapped around it, and it's also where I keep one of the old-fashioned needle threaders in there. But that is what started my love of needle books. And I knew she wouldn't mind, so I kind of, decided, well, I need more than one, and I used hers as just to use kind of as a pattern for coming up with one then that I made in the likeness of that on my own. And this is from a stamp, which I was looking for that stamp this morning, and I cannot find where I placed it. It's probably in with another project, and I just don't know which one at the time. But this is, I think everything's connected so I can open. But this is the outside cover then of my needle book. And that is a little embroidery purse there cut out of stuff, but with the buttons, very much, trying to get it to look like hers. And then inside, I also have the place for some pins and needles. I made the lace that I added here with a piece of fabric behind it and made it into a little pocket. And then over here on this side, I also have made into a pocket to hold the scissors. And I have a package of needles behind that. But these are just an example of really cute little vintage looking needle books. And that is what we will be working on for our first. This is an example of another type of needle book. It was gifted to me by my secret stitcher when I belonged in a guild. I no longer go to that guild. Good morning, Connie. Just looking to see your YouTube. All right. Welcome, welcome. New to the channel. Awesome. And Patty G says, awesome, Jean. It was through Facebook. Okay, very good. That is where I will get in touch with you again then, Patty G. Thank you. And Kelly's Cruise. Yeah, Quilts and Cruises says, thanks everyone for saying hi. I am finishing my coffee and getting bugged by the dog. Okay, awesome. But this is a cute one. And this is one that, as far as a needle book, I love because it opens up and I have written the different types of needles on the edges that wasn't there. I do that, but that is how I sort and organize and then keep my needles so I know which is which. Because as you know, we can set them aside in a pin cushion and then we go, okay, which needle is for what? I have forgotten because sometimes they can all look the same. But that is another example of a needle book that I just wanted to share with you. I'm going to set those over there. If I need them, I can refer back to them. But then you will see in here, I have my box of stuff that I have pulled. And of course, there's a pin cushion in here because we may need to pin some stuff on as we go, but I'm going to move that over the way. Oops, don't want to lose that. And we will be going through this in a minute, which these are stamps. I do use stamps and distress ink to use to put some of the things on the needle books, which, yes, over here we have another, which you have seen me working on these. This is another example of a little needle book. And when we open that, this is not finished. I'm still stitching on this. So, but there you will see where I have used stamp to stamp these spools of thread, stamp the little saying that says hanging by a thread. I'll pull you through. And these pages are actually wool pages so that you can use them for your needles and your pins and other stuff. There's a little pocket on this side. And then here we have a thimble and a needle. We have another place for needles there. This one has several pages, but like I said, this one is not done yet. This is a couple pockets here, lace trim on the inside. And then this, which goes all the way on this side, underneath all these pages to this side, is an old vintage handkerchief that is folded with the lace edges on there. And then the way that I fold it, it also makes multiple pockets, which I'll show you how those are pockets. And then it is actually a double pocket on each of those. It's showing where I put my fingers in. And then there is a larger pocket behind there on the way that I did it. And of course, another little stamp that says stitched with love. This little charm says made with love on it. This is a magnet with the lace sewn over it to hold the magnet in place. And that will hold needles as well. And of course, there's nothing on the back there yet because it is not finished. And these are vintage antique buttons on the front. So that is another example. And Lynn says, yes, finishing some coffee. My dogs are laying on beds being good, but the kitten has the zoomies. So if something strange comes across from me, it's because she ran across the keyboard. I understand that. That's funny. Oh, and Kelly also says I have all my cross stitch supplies in Tupperware box. Not as pretty as a needle book. Oh, well, I did. Yeah. Well, there is a needle book that we will be making using a cross stitch pattern in the group that is coming up. Kelly, you might want to watch for that. And Junebug is here. Good morning, Junebug. Awesome to see you. And Lisa says she's got to go. Work overrides my YouTube needs. Yes, it does. It also pays for my fabric addiction. Good luck to everyone on the drawing. Thank you. And take care, Lisa. And Lynn also says, oh, I have some vintage buttons and keys from my papercraft stuff. That would work for this. Yes, it would. There are many things that will work for these, Lynn. So just always be looking at thrift shops, looking through your stuff, things that you would normally throw away. Think about it before you throw it away, because it may be just the right embellishment for a needle book or a slow stitching project at some point in time. So, and then you will see that I also have a large one. This one is rather large. Let me see what it measures. It is, yeah, 8 inches by about 8 inches. Yeah, it's almost square. But I'm still working on it. And what started it was this little canted cross stitch project. Didn't know what to do with it. And I thought, oh, it would look cute on the front of a needle book. Well, kind of got carried away on the courthouse steps block that I was going for around that, and it got a little larger than what I expected. But this is a crocheted flower that I had made some years back that's added on there. And this one is not finished either. So you see, when you first open it up, that is the cover. That's how your cover will look before you sew it together. And then this is the inside, which also has the batting on the back, but those two pieces will be stitched together, and then you won't see all the stitching that you have done. But on this side, we have a cutout from an antique handkerchief. We have some lace down here that, again, I have made into pockets. And when you're making your pockets, think about how you're going to use them so you can judge what size, because I have one of the little floss keepers that you'll be able to put your threads in and keep in those pockets there. This is also from an old handkerchief. Has a snap on it. You open that up, and it is for pins and needles. It does have, pocket here you could slide something in, but it would probably fall out pretty easy going that direction. But it is there if you come up with a use for it. Might work to slide some thread in. And then on this side, it is just mainly embellishments, some old lace down there. Like I said, I'm still stitching, but then there are 2 deeper pockets here, and I have a needle minder attached to that pocket. And then this is the back of the cover. But yeah, that is stitching down there. And I am embroidery stitching the vines that are running through the fabric to all these flowers on there. So a lot of embroidery work is what's left to do on this one yet, and then stitch it together. But those are 2 more examples. And the reason I will show you and share with you, let me check before this gets too far away. Andrea is saying, I have my granny's old button tin and bunch of her embroidered hankies. I think this would be the perfect project for using some of that. Yes, I also have some of the tatted lace. Ideas. Oh, yes, you are in trouble now, Andrea. Let me tell you. And that, not just for needle books, that is what we also use for slow stitching projects. So you are off to an awesome start. And I also have my grandmother's antique buttons. And I have some of hers and my mother's handkerchiefs. So that is what I use, and some that I've gotten at thrift shops, antique shops, some that have been given to me. And Gisela is here. Welcome, Jean and Stitches. How are you both doing? We are doing awesome. Got stung right by a wasp on the finger right before coming on, but thankfully I'm not allergic. It just hurts. Oh, and Kelly says, I have been making a few journals, so a needle book would be similar, maybe. Yes, same concept, just different style. And so but this, woo, that went in there a little fast, is a box that has all my needles in it. So I need something more than a needle book to keep my needles in because I mean, I use the needle books for specific. Like I will have one for applique, I will have one for hand quilting, I will have one for slow stitching, one for embroidery, that type of thing, so that I have the specific tools that are needed for that type of stitching in their own needle book. So not only do I need a place to keep my needle books, which the ones that are the size that I first showed you is what I will be making the needle box for. And I am making it, designing it so it will be able to hold the small needle books. Plus, I measured to see what I needed for the needles. Oops, going to the wrong place here, sorry. But so I have decided that the needle box is going to be based on a 5-inch square, which will come in handy for, when you have those leftover charm squares and that type of thing. Those will come in very handy for making that. But just to give you, and you might, if you have a pencil and paper handy, you might want to jot down some of these measurements so that you know how to get started for the needle book that is this size, which it is a nice starter, good little size one to have for your individual projects. And again, that is the one like that. But you are going to need whatever you want to use. Muslin, Ansberg is awesome for using, an old handkerchief or whatever, but it is going to need to be a rectangle that is 4.5 by 8.5. And this is actually some muslin that I have. And then you are going to need also a scrap of batting that is 4.5 by 8.5. And you will need two, one for the front cover, one for the back cover of your muslin or whatever you decide to use for your fabric. I'll be showing some other examples of what you could use instead. So you will need two of those, and you will need two of the batting that are 4.5 by 8.5. And I will work up a sheet later on and be adding that will be a downloadable PDF in the Facebook group. So you will be able to have that information too. And that will be for the needle book. And then of course you will need your laces, your stamps, if you're going to use any, different threads, different little pieces of fabric and stuff, some leftover batting to use for what you are going to use to be able to put on there to put your needles in. Just, I've got some leftover little old yo-yos, my yo-yo maker in here, of course, in case I want to make some others. I have some of my inks, some of my stencils, and I know there's other stamps in here. We'll pull some of this out of the way. Oh, but here are some of my, I have some already sorted of some little antique buttons. This container, and we'll be careful opening it, but I have sorted so that I have all the white and off-white buttons in there so I don't have to keep digging and looking for them. Good old Altoid box. And that, of course, goes with the inks for the stencil. We'll pull the yo-yo maker out of the way. This is also, oops, and I have, there was two. I have silver and gold in those charms that you saw made with love. I threw a couple of those in there in case I want to use those. But this is a jar of antique buttons also to look through and see if there's any of those that I want to use. And of course, the threads and everything. And this is just, yeah, some leftover batting rolled up with pins in it that I use for these things. But here I'm uncovering. I finally got to the stamps I was wanting to show. But this is where I get the thimble and the needle from to be able to stamp on something if I want to use it. This is the hanging by a thread. I'll pull you through on there, and some thread spools. And then sometimes we want some flowers or something showing, so that is a stamp with those. But those are just ones that I pulled real quickly and put in there. And then just here is a bunch of different fabrics I pulled, thinking I might want to use some of that in there. And you do end up making a mess. When you are cutting your fabrics and your selvages, some of the words are cute and can be used in projects like this and slow stitching. This says created by Joe, which you can always cut that Joe off there and just have the created by, but words on your fabric come out neat also. And this one is also, by Joe Morton, which is one of my favorite designers. I have a leftover scrap of wool from a project in here. And this morning I actually, oops, there's my scissors and my other thimble. We don't want to lose those. This I actually tea dyed this morning because this was actually a bright white, and I didn't like the whiteness of it. I wanted it to look old, and I don't like using bright white much in many projects. And these were more on the side of white laces, and I wanted them to be the off-white and the more aged looking. So I tea dyed these this morning, and then to make sure that they were dry, I threw them in the dryer, just the handful of laces. So, but we have other laces in here. We have this again off the selvage that shows all the different colors on it. Can be cute to use as an embellishment. I think this says something about romance. Yes, Enough Romance by Alex Anderson again. And we have a string of iridescent pearls in here that may come in handy. A bunch of different threads. This is looks like it used to be a pocket on an apron is what it appears to be from me, but that is something that may be able to be used. This is an old stained piece of the middle of something that I cut the outside off and used on something else, but that would be great for one of the stamps to use and put on here. Then we have a doily to be able to cut up and use. Yes, I do cut them up, but that's just giving you an idea. And then I have fabrics, whoa, also under here, bunch of threads. But I wanted to show, I love using words, fabric that has words on it. And so this is a large piece, but I plan on using it a lot. You cannot read, it's in another language, whatever this writing is, but I love fabric with words on it. And then some other fabrics that coordinate that I pulled. See, even a little strip like this, you can end up using on a needle book or a slow stitch project. And let me check again before the chat gets too far away. The one about the darning needles and everything has gotten away from me, so I can't catch that one. I feel I have been so absent lately, but for a reason. Well, I hope you are feeling okay, Gisela. On the mend from whatever it has been. For my Facebook page, yes, Jean Facebook, my Facebook, I believe. Oh, where did I put my Where'd I put my little cheat sheet? I will find that for you. Oops, sorry about that. Caught that. It's Jean Facebook, not I, exclamation point, Jean Facebook, and it'll pop it up. Thank you, Danielle. Puppy coming with a ball that I have to throw. Okay. Am I using regular stamping ink? I use regular stamping ink. I use fabric stamping ink, and I use this is the VersaCraft for fabric, paper, wood, and more. Oops, sorry. The little ones. And I also use Tim Holtz Distress inks a lot. These aren't going to be washed, so I'm not worried about, them coming off. I do heat set, stuff when I do it, but those are the inks that I use, Lynn. And Gisela says that she found a box of really nice buttons, good gold diamonds, and that's from my mom that she saved. Wow. Okay, awesome. And Gisela says, love the tea dyeing. Yes, I will do that with fabric too. If it's too bright, but I like what it has on it, like this it's coming across a little brighter than it is. But if I want that to be darker, I will just on the spot make a cup of tea in one of the paper cups larger that I keep out here. I dunk the individual piece in that tea, leave it sit for a while. And normally I will just, pin it up and let it dry. But if I need it right away, I just go ahead and throw it in the dryer, let it dry, and then it's ready to use. But yeah, I do that with a lot of things. The cover on this one, this right here, is supposed to, what I was looking at was they used a piece of an old quilt. Well, I didn't have an old quilt to use for that, but I wanted it to look like that. So I took these fabrics, pieced them together, hand quilted it, and then I distressed all the fabrics before I put it together. But yes, I tea dyed those so that they would look older instead. They were bright colors before, and I just went ahead and tea dyed them so it would look old and vintage instead. But so that is how you do about that. Go about that. Got my pointer in the way there. And Andrea also says she has a ton of doilies that I have crocheted. I can make them look antique by soaking them in coffee for a day, then washing them in cold water. I will do that to some of this for a future projects. Yes. Awesome. Yeah, you can coffee dye or tea dye. You can do your, natural dyeing, whatever, many ways to go about that. And we can go into those type of things as we go along also in some of these projects. But just wanted to get a quick start and everybody started on getting what they are going to need to begin. And speaking of that, when I said, on this to start off with, I am using the plain muslin just because it's a good base, and to make it go by this as our inspiration and whatever. It'll make your stitches and everything show up well. Taking your first one like that, and then you can go on to experiment and everything. But if you want to, it's your needle book, your needle box. We'll talk about the needle box in just a little bit. But these are some fabrics when I was pulling others that I thought, ooh, on its own, it would make a great cover or back. It'll probably be the cover. Yeah. But so I already have, yeah, I cut two. So I have the front and the back ready with the same measurements that I told you, the 4.5 by 8.5, that can be the cover and the back for a needle book. This was another one that I thought, ooh, that would be awesome. Also on its own, just adding some things and even embellishing with embroidery some of the work that is on the fabric already. And then here is another one with a thread on it. But here is another one. So those are ready to also use as a needle book using fabric that you find that you like. Let me see where I left off. Okay, Kelly says that's a good idea, Andrea. I have coffee dyed paper before. Yes. And Kelly says she just joined my Facebook group. Okay, when I'm off here, I will go over and I will see to it that you get approved. And Gisela says, Jean, sorry, I have a hard time with Facebook. But I try, but it's okay, Gisela. We understand. And you don't have to worry ever about, if you just want to join the Facebook group so that you can get the files and see the information that is shared in there that goes along with what I do on YouTube. Don't ever worry about that you need to be, posting and sharing or anything like that, but just so that you have access to all the information. And that's where a lot of links and everything you will find that I will refer you to for patterns, information, instructions, and stuff like that. Or there may be times when I'm giving tips and stuff within the Facebook group itself. Don't ever worry about needing to comment or post or anything like that. All of you, there's never any concern there. Have a good Kelly. Okay. Oh, she says, I have to get dressed and start the day as it's 8:30. I know that I'll miss the draw. No worries. Have an excellent day, everyone. It's all right. There will be more. This is just a pop-up one today. I will be having a celebration and some giveaways for reaching the 1,000 subscribers. So there will be more, and I will let you know when that is going to be. So thank you, Nancy. And Andrea says, what do you think about using felt for the pages? Now, that is felt instead of wool for the inside ones like on this one. If that's what you're talking about, these inside pages, yes, felt will work just fine. If you don't have wool, felt is totally acceptable as an alternative, Andrea. Now, when we talk about the actual needle box, it is going to be sewn in the shape of a square box. And so you are going to need all of your squares, and you are going to need 4, your outside and your inside. Or of course, that goes around to make your box. And then you are going to also need a bottom, and you are going to need the outer and the inner. And then to make sure that is stabilized, you are going to need a 4.5 by 4.5 inch piece of cardboard or something similar so that that bottom is stabilized and it will actually stand up and not keep collapsing on you. But for that, I have used the Onsberg because there's going to be a lot of decorative stitching on this, and it's just easier. That is my outside. I know it's going to look like, oh, well, that's the inside when I flip it over, but I came across this fabric when I was looking for something that would be the inside of the box, because we don't want it just plain. We want it pretty too, because you're going to see it. So this is the fabric that I'm using that will be the inside of the box. This will be the embellished, slow stitched outside of the box. And of course, a box has 4 sides. So you are going to need 4 of those. Plus, then instead of batting, because you want this to be stiffer, I used fleece. One of your, not your real thick ones, but it's a craft fleece is what I used. And you could use felt there also instead of the fleece, Andrea. But that is what you will need for the needle box that you will be able to use to organize and keep all your needles that aren't going in your needle books in, so you're not looking all over, trying to find them, and can have those neat and handy. And you can make these in any size. When you learn to make this one, you can just decide what size you want it and make it, but it will be all hand stitched. No machine work on this. This is all a hand stitching project. But that is what you will need for that. So those are all out of 5-inch squares, except you will have to cut your insert stabilizer for the bottom to 4.5 by 4.5. So there is room to be able to stitch it. We don't want to have to try stitching through cardboard. That would not be any fun. And of course, if you have, this is a time that your lap app, trying to turn this around so that you can see, will come in handy. And I thought I might be doing some stitching this morning, but I don't think we are going to get around to that part of it. So, and also, if you are using like a stencil instead of a stamp, which I am going to be using this really cute, and it's going to glare, sorry, but this is a stencil and it looks like a quilt. And I thought this would be an awesome project to use that on. And I have yeah, it's the Faber-Castell pencils. The name of it is just leaving me right now, but yeah, they are the, you know, the watercolor ones that you can use either just dry or you can use it as the watercolor on your fabric. But that is what I will be using with this stencil somewhere on either my needle box, my needle book, or both. So, oops, and one decided to fall through. So you might want some of those if you're going to use something like that, or just want to add some color to some of the stamps that you use. But so that is everything that you are going to need to gather. And I will then also be doing we will be doing some of this together again, live, going over some of it, progress reports and stuff like that. But I will be doing recorded tutorials as I go along. So you will have those to refer to as I do it step by step. And you will be able to go to those and see just how I go about making the needle book and the needle box. And remember, those are just suggestions. Make it your own. Do it how you want in the likeness of what I may be showing you. And there's some really good patterns Jean's posts on her Facebook page in the file section. Yes. And some of them that I designed myself. So that's, another little perk of being in the Facebook group. And Terry says, good morning. I have been lurking and doing paperwork, but I am here as well. Hello, Terry. Awesome. And Gisela says, congratulations on all subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's like, I didn't have any goals when I started YouTube. I just wanted to be able to share my love of stitching with all of you out there, maybe inspire some new people to take on the love of quilting and stitching in all types and all forms. Never had any goals. I never got on YouTube to worry about the monetization, the money end of it. I, don't need that. I'm retired. I'm okay. I don't need the income. So that's never been a concern for me. But when you are reaching that milestone of 1,000, that means you are monetized and everything like that. You kind of think, oh, it would be nice. So yes, I am very, very appreciative of everyone that has gotten me to that 1,000 subscribers. Love it. And it's great to know that there are that much interest out there in what I do and what I share with you. So awesome. And thank you for the congratulations on that. And now I can just take a breather and go on just like I was before and not worry about it, because there is not a second goal at all. So I am just here to hopefully inspire, share, as like, yeah, the word left me on what I was going to say. That went tune, but share together the things that we all love doing and have an interest in. So that is what my channel is all about. Thus the Kept In Stitches, because it's not just quilting, it's all forms of stitching. If it uses some type of instrument that uses thread or yarn or textile, medium of any kind, that is what I do and what I share with you. And so There may be times that, okay, you aren't somebody that does handwork. It's okay. There are ones on here that maybe don't quilt. So we have a mixture of it, and it may inspire you to go, oh, hey, that looks like something neat. I may incorporate that in there. So yes. And I know I went a little off on what we were discussing there, but and Andrea says she has the pencils, but not the stencil. Where did it come from? You know, it came from a quilt show. But I don't know if they are still in business or not, but I will put the link to that. It's called Country Stencils, and it is their website is www.countrystencils.com, and they were located in Tennessee. But it came in a kit with, I got the kit, you could get it separate, but I will put the link for that in the description box and in the Facebook group as well. So you can check and see if they are still available. This is from 1989. So I'm not sure on that, but you can go to, I'm sure you would, because this was actually, it's got cards in it for, in the kit for card making. So you may be able to go to one of your scrapbooking stores and be able to find stencils like that also, Andrea. Jean, that's exactly what I would to do. Not sure what I was talking about that you are referring to that. We love quilting and more, and we are all addicted to it. Yes, it is very addictive. And before we run out of time, I am going to see if I set it up correctly and can get the Nightbot to work for the giveaway. But what I am going to be giving away, and it's going to be heavy to mail. And if you don't do embroidery, slow stitching, that type of thing, I'm sorry. Maybe this will inspire you to give it a try if you are the winner. But you may, as a quilter, there are times on my quilts that I find a space that I would love to embellish. I do embellish and add embroidery to my quilts. So I have a few extras of this book, but it is the Embroidery Stitch Bible. It has over 200 embroidery stitches featured, from cross stitch and chain stitch to couching, laid work, and drawn thread work. The stitches are arranged according to their use, making it simple tasks to find the one you need, and each is explained, in full with photographs and easy follow diagrams. An essential reference for embroiderers wishing to improve their technique and add new dimensions to their work. And it is the newest version put out by Betty Barden. And the pages, of course, it hasn't been opened and used, but they lay flat for when you are using it. So this is what I will be giving away this morning. And what you need to do to be entered in that giveaway is write in the chat. All you need to do is enter the word. Don't do it yet. Let me get the Nightbot started, and I will give you the word. And okay, it looks like it is going to be ready. The word that you need to put in the chat is stitches, and then it will randomly, when I hit roll it, give you time, all of you, to be able to enter the word stitches, STITCHES, and it will then, I will give you, let me see here, we'll give you about 5 minutes, or when we see that everybody has had that opportunity to put the word in the chat. The word is stitches to be entered in that giveaway, and then we will tell it to roll it, and it will randomly pick away, not capitals and not an exclamation point in front, just stitches. So those of you that have put it in incorrectly, go and put it in again, please. But no capitals, all small letters, stitches. Many of you are putting a capital with it. All small letters, just the word stitches, all small letters. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. I have some nice things set aside for giveaway, but yeah, we're going to give it some more time. I'm going to see if I can pop back over here so I can see what is going on. And just in case, I'm going to go back over because it does have, okay. Yeah, for those of you that put it in incorrectly, I have changed one of the things, so you will be able to put it in correctly again. Just the word stitches, all small letters, no capital. But we will let that roll for a while so we make sure that everyone is in, has the chance that is here for that. But I'm making sure I haven't forgotten anything on what you will need and what you will need to pull. And it will really help you if you do get a dedicated, it doesn't have to be a decorative, box. I just love my decorative boxes because, if it's going to sit around, it might as well look pretty. And so, and especially on my handworking projects, I always like to have it in a pretty little container, but you can use whatever you find. If you are one that has a bunch of those tins, like they used to call them, the button tin, I have several of those because my husband actually likes, the cookies that come in those. Those are great to use for little projects like this. So you will want to gather one of those up and then just start going through your stuff. And you've got, well, I don't know when I'll do a video, but there's no time constraint on this. But if you have a thrift store or something near you and you don't have much at home, go and check out and see what you can find at your thrift store. Some amazing things that you will come across there. But I am looking, I didn't set a timer, so I don't know. But when it stops going, we'll know that most of you have had the opportunity to get your name in for the giveaway this morning. And I don't see it going anymore, so we're going to go ahead and tell Needlebook to choose the winner. And I may have done it wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking right at the winner. This is my first time doing this. So it's like, oh, it's up there. So just for the health of it, Lynn is the winner of the giveaway this morning. So Lynn, make sure that you yeah, if one of our moderators are here and can put exclamation point, where did I just put that? To get my, oops, wrong thing. It should be exclamation point Jean Mail. My email will come up. That's also in the description box though. But if you will email me, Lynn, with your address so I can get that sent off to you. That is awesome. Congratulations. Great to see that you are excited about winning that. And I need to get everything back to where I need to be now because clicking that goes to a totally different place. So awesome. Thank you very much. And there is my email for you, Lynn, so that you can email me there so I have your address and I will get that sent right off to you. And so thank you everyone for joining me this morning. I am going to remove the spotlight for that right now so that I can say goodbye to all of you and thank you for joining me. And I hope that this is a project, and especially since it was one that was requested, that you will enjoy this little stitch along, and who knows where it may lead in your slow stitching venture in the future then. But have a great week. It is the start of a new week. Have a great week, everyone. And thank you for coming. And I will see you again very soon. You know, I'm thinking about taking Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday off. You think I can really do that? I don't think so. I was going to say I'll be off in my mind. Okay, that wasn't quite coming out right, but I was thinking of taking, some time off. We will see how it works, but I will be back Friday for sure for our stitch tips and chat. So have a great week, everyone. I will see you soon. Take care, be safe, happy stitching. And remember, in the meantime, I can keep you in stitches. Bye-bye.